Hi, this is Abby with the Bead Place and beadplace.net, and today I'm going to show you how to finger knit. So we're going to make a scarf out of yarn. Now normally I would be using thicker yarn, or I would be holding several strands together because I'm going to make a very loose weave with just this tiny yarn. But so you can easily see it, I'm just going to use one yarn. So what I'm going to do is start out with a slip knot, and so I have this yarn and I've got it doubled. So I'm going to cross it over and grab through that loop and grab my tail end, or the long piece of yarn connected to the ball. So I've got a slip knot and I can change the size of the slip knot. So I'm going to hook it on my thumb. I'm going to do a cross, hook it on my index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and then my pinky. So I'm going to tighten this by pulling on the end. And you see how it's crossed over in between all of my fingers? So what I'm going to do is take the long end that's connected to the ball of yarn and pass it over on top of what I have on my fingers. And I'm going to work from my pinky towards my thumb. I'm going to take what's on my hand and loop it up over my working yarn. And I'm going to work all the way across, and I'm going to do the thumb in the same way. So I'm moving it up over. So I've completed one row. I'm going to do the same thing, working back in the other direction. So I've brought my yarn across. I'm taking the stitches that are on my fingers, and I'm going to move it up over the yarn that we just brought across. So up and over to the back of my finger. Up over into the back of my finger. Over and over. So I'm going to do the same thing, working in the opposite direction again. So over, 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 and over, and again. Over, 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 and over. Now on the back of my hand you can see I have loops. That's kind of like the purl side, but if I were to turn it over, it would kind of be like knit stitches. So I'm going to do a couple more. You're bringing the yarn that is on your fingers over the top of or underneath the working yarn, and you're going to bring the yarn that's on your fingers over the working yarn and transfer it to the back of your hand. So we're just going to do the same thing. And you're just going to work in this same way until you have your desired length. So I'm going to do one more row, and I'll show you what to do if you have to take a break. So say the phone rings and I need to put this down real quick. I have these knit clips here. So they're usually used to hold pieces of knitted garments together while you're going to seam them. But otherwise, they are used to capture these stitches. So you're just going to clip in, and they are going to stop you from dropping stitches when you go to answer the phone. So you can just hook them in and take them off of your fingers. So you see how on one side I have what looks like purls, and on the other side I have what looks like knits. So say I'm done with my scarf and I want to cast off. What I'm going to do is work from the opposite end of where my tail end is coming out. And so I am going to lay this flat on the table so you can actually see what we're going to do here, and I'm going to make my stitches a little bit exaggerated so it's easy for you to see. But you probably won't want to do this on your scarf. So I'm just kind of transitioning the slack to make my stitches really big. Oops. So I'm working from the opposite end of where my tail is coming out. I'm going to take the knit clips off of these two stitches, and I'm going to go through this first loop with my fingers and grab the second loop. So I'm going to take the next knit clip off, go through this loop, and grab the next loop. And so on. And so on. So what I would do then is take scissors, trim this, bring the tail end up through, and then weave my ends in, and you've created a scarf. Thanks for watching.